as always, we're going to start with breathing because it's a good thing to do. So this time, let's put hands on our hips to start. So we've just got fingers here on our front, and then our thumbs are behind us. And we're just going to breathe. Then we'll add some head motion here. But as we breathe, it's we tend a lot of times to want to breathe into our chest, which, I mean, obviously our lungs are there, but we want to practice pulling the breath down low. So as you breathe in, which helps when you're not babbling nonstop like I am right now, then we want to feel our little fingers move. And then as we exhale, we want to feel those move back in. So just do that for a couple of breaths. Inhale, make the fingers move out. Exhale, let them come back in. I'm being stared down by a squirrel right now. I just want you to know that. I think he's judging me. Good. Exhale. All right, now let's add some head motion. So the hands are still just here to pay attention to what our breathing is doing. So now we're going to look up as we inhale. And then we're going to tuck the chin, exhale. And look up. And tuck and exhale. Good. Just a few more of these. And again. Good. Now bring your head back to the starting point. Let's let it tilt to one shoulder. Back to the center. Tilt to the other shoulder. Good. Breathing as we're going. You can put whatever rhythm with the breathing feels right for you with these head motions. Good. Let's bring it back to center, and then we're just going to look over one side and then the other. Good. One more time each side. Good. All right, so now let's push out. And again, we're going to tie our breathing with this. So we're going to pull as we inhale. And then we're going to push as we exhale. We're letting our back, it's kind of a little cat-cow motion that we're doing. So we're pushing out, rounding, and then pulling in. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Good. These are a great one, like first thing when you get out of bed. And I always do those head nods while I'm making my first cup of tea. Good. One more. Exhale. And inhale, pull it in. Good. Now we're going to bring the hands in front together. We're thinking about not hiking our shoulders up here, so bring them down away from your ears, and then hands are in front. Now we're going to bring one open, following it with our eyes, and taking it around as far as we can. Then we're going to close it up. The whole time we're following the hand with our eyes, and of course our head. All right, and then the other side. And if you feel the least bit dizzy, just take it slower, as slow as you need to. Good. Still making sure that our shoulders have not climbed up towards our ears. For some of us, they like to do that. Good, and close. And we'll do the other side one more time. And close. Good. Let's bring those arms out to the side, get some little circles going, wake up our shoulders. Good. Now take them the other way. You don't have to wobble back and forth like I'm doing. I just find myself doing it. Good. All right, and then some hip circles. So you can plant your hands on your hips, and we're going to make circles with our hips as big as we can. Good. I like the version here of going really slow because if you've got any tightness in your hips or your lower back, even in your legs, anywhere, you may feel it here. Let's take it the other direction. You tend to notice it a little more when you're going slow. And then you can spend some time working on that little spot if you need to. Especially if you're not just doing this as a warm-up, like if you're feeling stiff in any of those parts I just said, doing these is a great way to loosen up. I was doing them this morning. Good. Now let's just do one more big old circle. All right. Then we're going to go out with those arms again. I got to move a little bit so I don't bump my chair. And we're going to do a little twist and tap. You're going down to whatever point is comfortable. That might be your knee, might be your shin. You might be feeling super bendy and want to touch your ankle or your toes. But we're going to stand nice and tall each time we come up top. Good. So however low you're going, make sure you're coming back tall again too. Good. Good. One more on each little leg. All righty. Now we're just going to find a little balance on one leg. Of course, you've got your little chair buddy next to you, so you can use him anytime you need to. So find some balance on one foot. Stick that other foot out in front of you. Point and flex. You can have it way up high, or you can have it really close to the ground. And then just some ankle rotations here. And then the other way. Good, then plant that foot. And the other side, we'll point and flex. Good, and then some rotations. Make sure our ankles, other way, are all woken up too. So they can do the job with us. All right, and so now the next thing we're going to do is a little forward fold with wide legs. Now, I've shown you before, sometimes I like to do it where I've got my hands on the chair. That's up to you. But either way, we've got a wide stance, and we're going to bend, like hinge right here at our hip crease, and we're keeping our legs straight for this. So if you can't go far, if you get just a little bit over and everything says stop, that's fine. Stay right here. That's where you need to be. But I do like to take my hands and put them on chair or counter or something in front of me. So then I can focus on just slowly letting that stretch do its thing without forcing it. And with hands on something, then you don't have to worry about your balance or tipping over a little further than you're ready to go. All right, let's stand it up. Then we're going to do the same thing again. We'll just hinge right there. Again, you don't have to do this. You can keep your hands like on your thighs. That's another option. I just really like the hands on something in front of me version. You can try what is best for you. Hang here a minute. Let the stretchiness sink in. Good. Stand it up. And we'll do one more. All right. Fold it right there at the crease, our little hip crease. And then hang out. And then if it feels good, you can kind of shift your weight back a little bit from side to side with those hips. Does not have to be a big movement. And depending on if you're stiff anywhere and where you're stiff, it might feel really good. It feels good to me this morning. But of course, we're all different. And that's what makes the world interesting. All right, standing it back up, we're going to do some little bird dogs. So that's our opposite arm and leg extending. Again, hand on your chair if you want to. So we're going to do opposite leg. I'm going to send one leg back as I reach forward with the other. Good, and then stand it back up. So we'll reach forward. So if you're using your chair for this, what I suggest is the non-working hand, stick that one on your chair. And then you can still focus on getting the arm and leg to extend. Now we're remembering to keep a little bit of a bend in the knee that we're standing on. Good. We're going to do one more here. Good. Now we're going to switch over to the other leg. So find your little balance there. Reach that leg back and the arm forward. And then back up. Good. You're doing great. Another thing you can work on focusing on is keeping your hips level. A lot of times when we do this, they tend to want to open out. So try and keep both the hip bones pointing towards the floor, like parallel or parallel? Yeah. All right. All right. So now let's come up. We're just going to come up on our toes. You can, again, stay close enough to your chair if you want it. So we're going to come up on toes, doing some little calf raises here. And then we're going to reach one hand up high. So this is a time where you can stick a hand on your chair if you want. I'm still going just with the same arm. Now we're going to do the other arm. And each time coming up nice and tall on those toes. Good. And then let's go both arms up if you can. Good. Let's do two more of those. Awesome. And then let's come into a split stance. Oop. So we've got one foot in front, one behind. We've got a bend in both knees here. And we are just going to get to some little tilting going. So we're holding this little pose. Doesn't have to be a big bend in your knees. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. Tilt and back. Again, just getting motion in all the joints. Already doing a little work for our legs. My standoff with the squirrel has ended. He's gone on to more interesting things. Good. One more. Let's switch those legs. Whoop. Little bend in both the knees. Good. Find your balance or stick a hand on your chair. And let's tilt and back. Tilt and back. Good. Let's do one more. All right. So I'm just going to come back one more time for an abbreviated version of each of those. So we're going to come to the little forward fold again. I'm facing my chair because I like that version. You don't have to do that version. So we're going to have our little hands right here at the hip crease. Push it on back. I can already feel I'm a little bit looser. And those tight muscles. We're going to hang out here for just a few seconds. Feel free to add that little weight shift if you liked it, if that felt right for you today. Good. Stand it on up. Now just a couple of bird dogs on each leg. So we're finding our balance on one leg and we're reaching it out. Again, working on keeping our hips level towards, hips level. Sometimes just more words want to come out. Good. And one more here. And then let's switch the legs. And again, extend it out. Good, and one more. Awesome. Now our calf raises, and we're just going to alternate. So we're going to come up on the calves, on the toes. That'd be a trick to come up on your calves. Good. Reach the other hand up and alternate. Good. Good. Just two more. All right. And then our little split stance, a few more pelvic tilts here. So bend in both knees. Whoop, find your balance. There we go. And tilt and back. Good. One more here. Switch sides. Whoop. Sinking down. And here we go. Tilt and back. Tilt and back. Awesome. All right. I'm getting a sip of tea. Feel free to grab a sip of water, and then we'll move on to our next step. And I am going to set this down because I don't have confidence that I won't spill it. All right. We're going to come in a wide stance here, and we're going to come down and slide to the side, then come up a little bit. Then we're going to zoop it over and back up. That was a very technical term. So we have a knee bent. This is just the same little, like when we're doing the thing that we do a lot of times with one knee than the other, except we're just adding a little slide. Then we come up, we slide. Good. And slide. Fabulous. Good. Slide and slide. One more slide. Good. March it on up. And we're going to keep marching. So we're starting out with our normal little march. Now let's come up on our toes for a little bit and marching. Make these as perky as you want to, as you're feeling today. Now come back to your regular march, not up on your toes. Then we're going to do those little elevator things. So we're going to come down just a couple of inches and keep marching. Then we're going to take it down to the next floor. So we're still marching, but we've got more bend. Then if your building has another floor, take it down again. And if you look like a duck, it's fine. Good. Now let's take it up a floor. So just a couple of inches. Good. Keep it marching. Then take it up the next floor. Good. And take it on up to a regular march. Whew. And then up to our toes. Good. This is the penthouse, I guess. Now take it back to the regular march. We're going to go down one more time. So down the floor. Good. Take it on down. And then try and go to the basement. Woo. Good. Come on back to the first floor. Back on up. And up. And back to the toes again. Good job. All right, now we're going to come back to our split stance. But this time, we'll make it a little split squat. So hand on your chair if you need. But again, same leg position. You can line it up a little more if you want a balance challenge, or make it a little wider if needed. So we're going to come down, bending both knees, come up, straightening, down and up. Good. Hand on the chair if that feels better. Fantastic. One more on this leg. Switch it up. Good. Find your ideal stance here. And down and up. Down and up. One more. Good deal. All right. So little side hop comes next. This can be a little gentle, no impact, where you shift the weight, or go ahead and jump it if you want. And how much, how far, how high, all that's up to you. Good. Doing fantastic. Good. All right, now this time, let's add a pause and bring that foot off the ground. Good. Other side, pause. And then we'll hop, hold. Good. Remember, if you wobble, that's okay. Good. 2 more of these. Hop with a pause. Hop with a pause. Good. All right, we're going to walk our feet out wide again and do those little slides. So we're going to come down, slide one way, slide the other way. So as we get to the side, we come up tall, then we slide it down. A little bit like we're doing a sideways limbo, going under something here. Good. Slide. You're doing great. And let's do 2 more. And one more slide. Walk it on up. Good. We're marching. You know what that means. Our elevator marches again. So let's start up high, up on our toes. Nice and perky. Now take it down to our regular march. Now let's go down a floor. I don't know how many floors your building has. Just challenge yourself. Next one down. And if I get to a point where you don't have a lower floor, stay where you are. Come on down, see if you got a basement here. Good. Now back up a floor. Not all the way though. And back up a floor. Still not quite to back to normal. Now on up. Good. Then up to the penthouse. And one more time. Let's take it down regular. And then down a floor. More knee bend here. And then we'll go down again. More knee bend. And then if you got it, come on down again. Good. Back up just a little. Back up a little bit more. Back up one more time. And now we're regular marching. And then we're up on our toes one more time. Fabulous. Good. All right. Split squats again. So 1 foot in front, 1 behind, hand on the chair if you want. And we go down and up. Now, how far down is up to you. Doing great. It's not as cold on my porch now. Good, stand it up. Let's switch the legs. Good, find your stance. And we'll come down and up. And one more. Good. Stand it on up. Awesome. You're doing fantastic. We're marching. And then we're going to do our little side hops. So we'll start with not the pause. And again, as big as you want to do them. So we shift, and the foot can stay on the ground when you get there. Good. Two more. Good. Now we're going to hop and pause with the foot off the ground. And pause. Good. Yeet. Doing super. And one more time. All right. One more time for this little set, all right? We're going to come wide again. You got it. We're coming low. We're going to slide. We're going to slide. Doing awesome. Coming down low with that little sideways limbo. Good. And let's do two more here. And one more. Good. Walk it back up. And then marching. You got this. One more little ride on the elevator. So first we'll start up high. Then we're going to come down to the regular march. Good. We'll take it down the floor. So just a little bend to the knees. And then a little bit lower. And then can you take it a little bit lower? Awesome. Back up just a little. Back up just a little. And one more time. Good. And up on our toes. One more time. Back to normal. Take it down the floor. Little bit more. And can you take it one more? Good. Now then up one. Good. Up another. Good. On up to normal floor. And then up to toes. Good. And back to regular march. You're fabulous. You're doing awesome. All right. Split squats again. Finding our balance with or without the chair. And then we're going to come down and up. Good. Remember just to adjust the depth here to suit you. And try and make sure, take a little glance down at your front knee and make sure that it's tracking over your toes. We don't want to have it caving in or going too far out. Good, one more. And let's switch the feet. All right, finding our stance, here we go. Taking a little glance at our toes, see if our knee is traveling a good path. You got this. One more. Awesome. Standing on up. Are your legs talking yet? Probably. All right, let's take it with a little hop to the side here. So we'll hop and hop. Remember, it can be absolutely no impact or a peppier version. Good, two more. Now let's do the pause with that leg raised. And the other side, we'll hold. Whoop. Fantastic. One more. You're doing awesome. I'm getting another sip of my tea. Grab yourself a sip of water. Then we just have some stretching. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna use my chair a little bit for this one. So I'm gonna step a foot back, put my hands on the back of my chair here so I can really focus on pushing this heel back down toward the ground. And we're gonna let this front knee just bend as much as it needs to get in the position here. And then we can add another arm. Add another arm today. Add the arm on the side of the leg that's back with a nice stretch here. And play around with this here. I like to reach it a little farther and then get a nice stretch in the side as well as in that leg. Good. Let's just switch it to the other side, other leg. So stepping it back, bringing that heel down towards the floor, finding that stretch. Then when we've got that, if we want to bring the arm up. Good. Fantastic. Bring it on up. And then let's do the one with the foot in front again. Hand on your chair or not. So we'll point and flex. Good. Sometimes it's interesting to pay a little attention. Rotate now. And see when you've done a little move like this at the beginning, and then you do it at the end, if it feels any different. Take it the other way for your rotation. Sometimes it won't, and that's fine. But sometimes you really may feel a big difference. All right, plant the foot and then the other one. Point and flex. Good, and then rotate one way. And rotate the other way. Good. Now let's just have a seat in our chair. Let's start kind of on the front of the chair. And then I'm going to put a heel out on the ground. Toe's going to point towards the ceiling. And I'm going to think about pulling it in towards my shin. And then reach a hand forward. Now where we're trying to feel this stretch is in the hamstring back here. If you're not, then think more about bringing that toe up closer to the shin. Good. Sit it up and then switch feet. So other heel is out front, toes towards the ceiling. And then reach. Good. Sit it on up. And then right where we are, obviously staying seated, we're just going to sort of stir the pot here with our torso, making a circle. Good. Now let's stir the other way. Good. Awesome. All right, little hands just resting on our thighs here. We're going to do a little cat-cow seated. So we will exhale and round the back here, arch like a cat. And then inhale, pull everything back. Exhale and inhale and exhale. Good. One more time. Awesome. Pull an arm across, give it a little hug. It's been a good arm today. It didn't do as much as your legs, but that's all right. A little rotation with the wrist both ways. Some little finger wiggling, keeping those guys active too. And then shake things out and bring the other one across for a little hug. Wrist circles. Other way. And the fingers going. Good. Now let's bring a ankle up onto our other knee. And then sit nice and tall. I'm still at the front of my chair here. And then if you're already feeling some nice stretch here, that's perfect. You're doing it great. If you need a little more, either push right down gently on your knee, or you can bring your torso, the chest forward, not hunching over, staying tall, just bringing it forward. And remembering to breathe. Good. Let's switch to the other leg. So nice and tall. Fabulous. Plant that leg. Let's just get a couple more breaths and then we're going to be done for today. Let's bring our arms up and we're still remembering to breathe down all the way into our belly. Reach for the sky and release breath and air. Good. Again, nice big arms, big breath. And release. And one more time. And release. And thanks again for joining me.